Hey there. Hello. How are you? We are on day 4 of the Commerce Collab. I think it's the penultimate day. I don't know if that's the right word. I think it might be, but it's basically the second from the last day. I'm Reese Spikerman. You are inside the Commerce Collab Facebook group, which shares the same name as the masterclass series that is going on every day this week. Let me go check and make sure that we're good to go live. Looks like it. Just give me a shout out if you're here joining me live. Always love to see you here. And I want to give you a quick tip. We noticed that there was a tech issue with one of the interviews that is going out today, Chris Orzechowski's interview. And so we've updated the link, my team has, and if you weren't able to play it before, go to the page and do shift plus refresh. That will clear your cache. If you're ever having problems with websites, sometimes this can help in general, but in this case, we did need to fix something. Do shift plus refresh. You should be able to see the interview then. And if that's still not working for you, it still could be a caching problem on your end. So try it on another browser. And that should be updated and ready for you to go now. I'm going to give you a few minutes to come on in. And while you're doing that, I would love to hear from any one of you who are joining me here live or in the replays. What ahas did you have from yesterday's guests? We had Betsy and Laura from Luscious Hustle, and we had Kathleen Cutler. What did you write in your notebook? Tell me in the comments, what were your biggest takeaways from the interviews? I always really love to hear what parts stood out for you because they're different for everyone, right? I also want to remind you of a way to get some exposure for your business. Sabrina Blanks, I would like to shout out, has been doing an amazing job of this and has been getting me featured or getting herself featured in my Instagram stories because every day she writes her takeaways and I want to thank her because she's doing a great job. But basically, if you either go to the daily post for the group and you post your takeaways, so that's the post where you see the pictures of the experts for the day, and you can go back and do this for other days too. Or if you want to make a new post in the group, although sometimes I don't always see the new posts. So if you posted one and I didn't see it or call you out, let me know. Basically, write your takeaways, write your ahas from the interviews. I will screenshot it and I will tag the guest expert and I will share it on my Instagram feed and tag you so that you get some traffic and exposure for your business. So today you are in for a real treat with my friends, Mai DeLeon and Chris Orzechowski. I just talked with Chris yesterday. He was helping me with some stuff inside my group program, the Streamline Product Sales Academy. And both Mai and Chris are talking about ways to sell, but from very different perspectives. I'm going to go and see who we have joining us live. We've got Sabrina, Karen, Brenna. Heck, Brenna, I am floored that you made it here. Sabrina said, Brenna has a very busy day ahead of her. Sabrina says that sales is about talking to people, that it was a really good point from both interviews yesterday. And I loved hearing about human design. Yeah, you know, Sabrina, I didn't even make that connection. So I love that you brought that up, that Kathleen and Betsy and Laura actually both use these human connection techniques, talking with people. So I should have had you come in and write my emails for me because I didn't even make those connections between the two. And I love reading that. So thank you, Sabrina. Let's talk first about my friend Mai. She's a hand lettering artist from the Philippines, and she's turned into a teacher. She teaches other artists how to turn their work into products, how to get away from one-on-one client work, like those one-on-one artistic commissions. Her artwork has appeared all over the world. She's had a book that's been published all over the world, and she's going to talk with you about how to turn your art into products, which I think is really juicy if you're one of those artists who makes a lot of custom work and it's starting to drain you. This could be a new opportunity for you. So first, can I get a roll call here? Who here is joining me? Tell me in the comments, are you an artist business? Like, are you a maker, a painter, a designer, an illustrator? I'd love to know who we have who would consider themselves an artist and then would really be interested in Mai's interview. Brenna is getting ready and listening. Oh, good, Brenna. I'm so glad that I'm in the background as you get ready. So Mai has a lot of ideas for you. She's going to teach you how to test the market. as well as alternative ways to earn income through products or commissions with corporations who might pay licensing for your work. One tip I would love to give you is if you're looking to break into products, is to go to sites like Etsy or even Society6. There's others that are like print on demand type places too that you can look at. Look at the best sellers in various categories, especially things like bags or mugs. I can't think of the word for those cups, that people take with them everywhere. It's not a mug, but I think you guys know what I mean. Posters, prints. What is trending right now? What's hot? What's really selling well? And then ask yourself, can I capitalize on what's trending and then combine it with my own unique style? And then that's how you potentially take your artwork and then help meet this greater market demand, and you make something unique in your own, but you're still also meeting a demand in the market. And I want you to be sure to listen at the very end for my really smart tip about how to test a product before going full out with mass production of that product. We've got Karen, who's an artist and maker. Sabrina, tumblers, that's the word. Thank you for helping me find my word. Tumblers, yeah, like tumblers are hot. So what kinds of things are really selling well in tumblers right now? And then where's the relationship between that and your art? Can you make a bridge? Can you connect those two dots? Adriana is also a maker. Yes, tumblers are huge on Etsy right now, Sabrina. I agree. I need to start making some tumblers, I think. I mean, it makes it sound so easy, but I wish I had gotten in on the Tumblr thing about 5 years ago. Who else has there? It's like Bitcoin, right? Not quite as crazy as Bitcoin, but I wish I had gotten into the Tumblr thing 5 years ago. My friend, Chris Orzechowski, who I've told you a little bit about, is also on today. He is smart, he's hilarious, and he really knows his shit when it comes to email. He has been an inspiration to me, and he's a specialist in e-commerce emails specifically, and that's why I brought him on. He, along with Monica and Betsy and Laura, is one of the biggest promoters of this event, this masterclass series. He's just one of those people who keeps his word. He goes above and beyond. He has just such character and integrity. And I would really love to know in the comments who here has those as some of their highest values. Like, it's really important to you that you honor your word, that other people honor their word, and that they have integrity. Like, for some people, this is not their highest value. That's fine. For others of us, it's one of their biggest ones. And I'm really curious who else out here that's a big value for them. Adriana says the best day to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best day is today. Wise advice, again, from Adriana. So I loved interviewing Chris. It was such a fun interview. It's one of those, again, where I could have talked with him for hours. But what you're going to learn about from him are 3 emails. Like, these are 3 specific emails you didn't know that you could or should be sending that sell for you in the background on autopilot. Now, of course, we also have to create new emails, which I'm going to talk about a little bit today and give you some tips on, but these would be more ones that you set once and you kind of forget, right? And they run for you in the background and they sell for you in the background. And I love them because they're just so highly leveraged. And I want you to be sure to go grab Chris's free gift. It's on the access page. It's a copy of his book. It's so inspiring and helpful. I've read it. I think it's a really great free gift. So make sure you grab yours. What I would love for you to tell me in the comments is, how often are you emailing your email list? Once a week, once a month, 3 times a week, every day, like once in a blue moon? What is it for you? And then the second thing I would love for you to tell me in the comments is, what are you doing to get people on your email list? How are you growing it? I think it's really inspiring to read what other people are doing and to just help us get some ideas on how others are growing their email list. Brenna says that Chris's book is so good. It is. And it's such a fast, easy read too, isn't it, Brenna? It's just, I think I breezed through it in an hour. I mean, I'm a speed reader, but it really is not a long book and it's very well written. I think that Chris is an incredible writer on multiple levels, not just copywriting, but I think that he could write like a longer book beyond just this one he's written and do very well with it. Blue moon for Karen on the emails. Okay, Karen, let's get that fixed. Adriana is on top of things, usually Wednesday through Saturday. Does that mean, Adriana, that you're emailing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Wednesday and Saturday? Tony is once a month. Hey, Tony, nice to see you and the cat here again today. Sabrina is a blue moon girl. I have a pop-up on my website and a link to sign up on my IG link tree. Great. Okay, those are good ways to start getting people on your list. I love it, Sabrina. Oh, okay. So Adriana is once or twice a week. Sorry, I didn't read that. Yep, Wednesday and Saturday. Great. That's good. Look, email is one of those things that's challenging for a lot of e-commerce businesses in particular, because I think what I see people get stuck on is, what do I email my customers besides, hey, buy my thing, right? Like, go buy my jewelry, go buy my tumbler. Like, how do I keep email interesting and valuable for my customers? That's just something I see a lot as an objection or a question or issue. And what I want to share for you today is a few ideas for you about email that get your wheels turning. And this is a supplement to what Chris is teaching you in his interview. So also be sure to listen to his interview too. Give me a sec. I really need a drink. Okay. In Chris's interview, one of the things that you are going to hear is the importance of storytelling in email. And I would love to make this tangible for you. And I'm going to share a couple examples from a woman who is in my group program. So Laura is in my program, and she created, her business is she created a special wash for cleaning horse blankets and other pet wear products. Because what she was finding is what was on the market was not doing the job. And I'm going to explain too in a minute why else she made her product, because it's related to the emails. So her product is called Blanket Safe. That's the name of her company. And when we started working on her business, one of the things that we discovered in our work together was almost all of her customers have animals, not just horses, but dogs, cats, other pets. Like, for example, Laura also has chickens, although I don't actually, there's someone in my group named Rachel who very much does consider her chickens her pets. So if you have chickens and you love them and you consider them pets, yes, them too. So Laura has some really funny, crazy stories about her dogs, her cats, her chickens. And one of the things that Laura is now working on in terms of what kind of content she will be emailing about rather consistently are emails to her customer list where she's writing the stories of her crazy animal stuff. And she's also asking customers to share their own stories about their animals and photos of their animals. So when she does this with her emails that she sends out, a few things happen. She's not only creating an entertaining email that isn't just like, hey, buy my thing, right? It's worth reading. She's creating this connection with customers, something they have in common. And she's also creating this like larger engaged community, because now they feel a part of something. Suddenly her business isn't just the place they go to get their pet wear or horse blanket washes. It's something bigger than that. It's something they all have in common. It's like they start to have this relationship with Laura, okay? And that's how you start to build a brand that people want to support again and again. Adriana has bees. They are definitely not pets. Yeah, but you can write about the bees because there are always bee stories, I'm guessing, Adriana. What did I read the other day? This is just an idea for you. Sometimes you can get interesting stories from the news. I read a story about a guy who got in his car and he had like left his window open a crack and went into the grocery store or something. And he came back and he's driving. He's like, something is weird here. And he heard this humming. And in the like 20 minutes or say an hour that he had been in the grocery store, a bunch of bees came and set up a colony inside his car. And I was like, holy shit, this is a story. Like, this is a crazy story. And he got the heck out of the car and they called the fire department, and some fireman who was a beekeeper came and helped and like transported the whole colony. But can you imagine getting in this car? My point, Adriana, is there's going to always be a story about bees that you could tell in your emails and entertain people, right? So yes, and you're constantly writing about them. I love it. My first tip for you is to think about whether your customers share something in common, and you might need to dig a bit, right? This might not be something out of the blue where you're like, Reese, yeah, I got it. You might need to think of it. It doesn't have to be every single darn customer, but the majority of them may have something they share in common. Like Laura discovered that her customers have animals and they have a strong love for their animals. It could be that your customers all, like, for example, my friend Christy Sumer, who has like an ethical fashion company. One of the things that most of her customers share in common is they don't want to buy fast fashion anymore, and they care about the environment. So it could be things they care about, things they own, things that are in their everyday life, like the animals with Laura. But this is where you can use what you learned from Monica in day 2 with interviewing your customers. You can use that information to start to connect the dots of what do my customers have in common, and then you can use that to write emails that they relate to. So can you see how the dots are being connected with Monica's interview, with what Chris teaches you today, with what you learned from Kathleen? Like, it all is related. There's a bigger picture here. If you already know something that your customers have in common, or a few things that they have in common, and you know this off the bat like this, pop it into the comments, because I would love to read it, and I think other people would here too. We can inspire each other this way. Then after you do this, after you think of what they might have in common, I want you to sit and brainstorm 3 to 5 story ideas related to that thing that they have in common. You can pull from your own life. You can use what you've observed in other people. You can even use what I just gave in the example of the bees. Like, maybe you saw something in the news that relates, and you share what you read about in the news that you thought was an interesting story, especially like those slice of life human interest stories that relate to your people. And this can be an email, right? And you can see how it's an email that isn't just like the hard sell. It isn't just all about me, my products. It's about a story. It's entertaining people. Heather says they love loving on their pets. Heather, wait till you just wait. It's getting better. You're going to hear more about Laura and loving on your pets. All right. So the second idea that I have for you with creating emails and content for your emails and sharing stories in your emails is revealing the reason for making your business and showing it. Okay, so you don't just say, here's why I started my business, like tell a story that shows that. So I'm going to use Laura as an example here again. This is what I mean, Heather, wait for it. Laura has a horse named Ham. I can't remember what the longer name is, but it's short for something. And this horse is like the most loved horse in the world. Now, Laura could just say that. I really love my horse, and that's why I started this company. We figured out a way for Laura to show that in a story, and it related to how she started her business. One day I was listening to Laura on Instagram, and she was talking about how Ham has a pet psychic or medium. I'm not joking. This was hilarious. I messaged her and I said, this is an email. Like, this is going to crack people up, because she had shared a story about how the pet psychic told Laura that Ham thinks that Laura has a big ego. Like, how funny is this shit? I think it's a riot. And Laura talked about it like no big deal. I'm like, Laura, this is an email. And she's like, so how is it an email? I said, first, customers are just going to love the story in general because it's so bizarre. Okay. But then what we decided to do is make this in an email that shares the story. And this is like the tie-in, the segue, as Brenna calls it. She's still listening, I think. We all do crazy things for our animals because we love them. Like, for example, I buy Tiki all these tiny bouncy balls, and she has 6 beds around our house. I say, like, Tiki has multiple homes. She's a very wealthy dog. You know, she's got like her summer home, her winter home, the cottage, the chalet. I want to make sure she's comfortable. So Laura too does like crazy things for Ham and her pets. And when she shares this story about Ham and the pet psychic, it's going to create a connection again with the customers who love their animals. They're going to be like, yeah, this is hilarious and relatable. Okay. And then she's going to say, it's because I love Ham so much that's why I started Blanket Safe, because I wanted him and my other animals and everyone else's animals to have a wash product that would not leave behind anything that would harm my animal's sensitive skin. Like other products out there made them itch, and Blanket Safe doesn't. And my veterinarian husband researches all the ingredients to make sure they're animal safe and child safe. And then we put a link right in there to one of her washes, right? Like maybe in the line that says, that's why I made my XYZ washes. And so in that way, it's the subtle sale. It's going to link directly to one of her products. It's telling a story in an email. It's telling her backstory. It's entertaining people. So do you see how like it's looping back around to make her product even more compelling? We've all got stories like this. I promise that you do. So my second tip for you is to think about why you started your business. And then I want you to brainstorm 2 to 4 stories from your everyday life that illustrate that show and just don't tell. And I can see from the comments, you guys love this story as much as I do. And it's so funny. It's really interesting to me that Laura, because it was normal for Laura, who like needed my outside perspective to help her see like, this is a freaking email story and this is hilarious. So you might need to ask some people, right? Or you might need your partner or someone else to help point out these stories for you. But examples, let me give you a few. If you're in jewelry, maybe you have a memory of how much your grandmother loved wearing different necklaces. Like my grandma was like this, and she would always, her eyes would light up if she saw a necklace on me she really liked. So maybe this is you, maybe you're in jewelry. And maybe that's actually kind of part of why you do what you do, to stay connected with your grandmother. Like it's a way for you to keep her memory alive in your work and in your everyday. So that could be a backstory you share with people and they could really relate to that. Or maybe you make soaps, and part of why you do is because you struggled with eczema. You were unsatisfied with everything that you found in the store and you're like, that's it, I'm going to solve this problem on my own, like Laura did, right? She was unsatisfied with everything she got in the stores. They weren't washing well, they were leaving her animals itchy, so she made her own product. Maybe the other day, like in the soap example, your little nephew had this rash on his arms and his parents realized the soap was the problem. You could tell the story of him and how helping people like your nephew is part of why you do what you do. And you link in that email directly to one of your soaps. Does that make sense? Like, tell me in the comments, is this resonating? Are you thinking about, okay, my wheels are turning. What are some of the things related to my backstory that I could share in an email? By the way, I cannot believe that tomorrow is our last day. Is it just me, or has this week like flown by? Whoosh. If I'm being honest, I'm a little bit exhausted, but I'm also so excited for everything that you have been learning from these guest experts, what you're going to learn today and what you're going to learn tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, our final day features my friend Kaylin Johnson Chandler and me, meaning like I'm the other interview. And Kaylin has been in e-com for a decade. And she was on the Today Show. She's gotten all kinds of other media. She has a stationery company. She's been through all the ups and downs of changes in technology in her website, like having to go through 3, 4, 5 iterations of her website, of learning Instagram, all of that. And I brought her in because she shares such an honest and straightforward information with you about what it really takes to be successful in online product-based businesses. And I know you're going to love our conversation as much as I love talking with her. She's very cool and refreshing. And she also is going to give you some smart strategies on what exactly to focus on in your business to build that sustainable foundation. And one of the things, like we were talking about stories just a bit ago in emails, Kaylin started her business and named it after her grandmother. Like her grandmother was a really big inspiration for her and why she did it. She was a lawyer, she was a fashion consultant, and then she turned in and became like a stationery business. And Kaylin shares these stories about her grandmother on her website when she gets media in her emails. So you can see how she's using stories too. And Tony says, I can't believe that this will end tomorrow. I'm so enjoying these conversations and I'm learning so much. I love that, Tony. Thanks for telling me. And Sabrina's wheels are turning. Good. I'm really glad. Tick, 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 right? You got to pause for a minute after today's live and like go think it through. And the other interview tomorrow is me, my client and friend, Gina Clark, who's another one of the ladies inside the Streamline Product Sales Academy, is taking over the mic. She's interviewing me. And what I'm going to share with you is my foolproof formula for writing the words on your website that sell. I want you to also make sure you look at the access page tomorrow, because going up tomorrow is a special cheat sheet that I have made for you. It's full of beautiful examples on how to write some of the most important words on your website. And you're going to see how my formula makes it super easy and breaks it down for you so you can just mimic it, take it, and make it your own. I spent weeks prepping the interview and the spreadsheet, so I cannot wait to hear how you plan to put this into work. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to be here for a final day, final day at 10 a.m. to do a recap of the week in general, my biggest takeaways to help you grow your business and sales in a sustainable way. Adriana can't wait to implement the information. Same with Carla. Brenna can't wait to snag the cheat sheet. Yeah, Brenna, you were like with me on Voxer talking through what do we do? And actually you were the one who helped me see, what if you turn this into a cheat sheet so that people have something besides the interview to help them? So thank you for that, Brenna. Like, you are a big part of this cheat sheet. I'm sorry, it will be amazing. You're sorry it will be amazing, Heather? As always, thank you so much for being here with me live. Thank you for your engagement, your emails to me, your comments, sharing your insights on Instagram, within the group, within this live chat, everywhere else. I see how dedicated that you are to your business, how hard you're working on it, how much you are taking everything that you've learned and thinking about, how do I apply this in my business? And I am so impressed by how you have shown up for yourself in your business this week. So let's just take a minute and like let that sink in. I hope you are really, really proud of yourself, because you should be. It is not a small thing to dedicate this time to your business and to growing it. And I want you to just like give yourself a really big pat on the back. I hope that you have an incredible day. Thank you, Heather, for clarifying that. I'm sure it will be amazing. And make time today to listen to Maya and Chris. Again, if you were having issues earlier with Chris's interview, go and shift plus refresh, like shift plus F5 the page, and it should start to play. If not, go look at another in another browser. And I will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have an amazing Thursday. Bye.